And welcome back to KRAM 2 News at 11. Thank you for sticking with us through those technical difficulties. Once again, I'm Joshua Robinson, and new tonight, the family and community members gathered tonight at Mirabeau Point Park to remember the life of a 19-month-old toddler whose life was tragically cut short. The Spokane County Medical Examiner says Azalea Rain Red Horse Jones died last Sunday after suffering extensive and substantial trauma. The cause and manner of her death are still pending, and the family told us that they wanted tonight's remembrance to be peaceful and to honor Azalea's life. Mickey Brown Jr. meanwhile is in the Spokane County Jail on a $1 million bond and is facing a second-degree assault charge in connection to Azalea's injuries and death. Also developing tonight, wildlife officials are looking into why 150 white-tailed deer mysteriously died in North Idaho. Idaho Fish and Game say more than 100 deer have died from a mysterious illness in the Camier area. Regional biologists say they are working hard to find out what disease they are dealing with. Wildlife officials say they tested 2 different diseases, both coming back negative, but officials say people need to now remove their food and water resources that could attract deer to help reduce transmission. IDFG says more tests are being conducted to determine the cause of death. All right, taking a look outside as we check in once again with meteorologist Michelle Boss. We're always looking for that opportunity to see the weather cool down and maybe help out this air quality. Michelle.
Yeah, we do have some good news on the way in the form of better air quality, some cooler temperatures, but not until Monday. So we have one more day of some really hot temperatures and some pretty hazy conditions. Hot out there right now, still at the 11 o'clock hour, 82 degrees in Spokane. It has cooled down to the 70s in Coeur d'Alene, upper 70s to near 80 across the Palouse, lower 80s in Lewiston, and lower 80s in Moses Lake. Wow, still 90 degrees in Grand Coulee. We did have a little bit more wind today. That was one of the reasons we were under a red flag warning, but the wind did help us out a little bit and helped to disperse some of that haze. And so we had a slight improvement in our air quality this afternoon. Currently at the 11 o'clock hour, we're checking in the category unhealthy for sensitive groups. So we're going to see a much bigger improvement by the first of the week, but we still have to get through tomorrow. So excessive heat warning still in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow afternoon or 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. High temperatures tomorrow expected again in the middle 90s to the low 100s. We also have an additional red flag warning for tomorrow from 1 until 11 p.m. Again, very dry conditions and gusty winds expected for the afternoon. Other than that, mostly clear skies. Really the only cloudiness per se is the haze and smoke that's in the sky. Here's a look at the next 3 days. Hazy and hot for your Sunday, highs in the upper 90s. Monday, much clearer air, high temperatures in the upper 80s, and then much cooler. Looking forward to the potential for some wet weather on Tuesday with highs in the low to mid 70s.
And cooling centers around Spokane will be open throughout the weekend due to that extreme heat. The cooling center at the Loop Carousel will be open every day from 11 to 8 or until temperatures drop below 95. Library branches will also open as cooling centers. If you don't have AC or if you just need a place to cool down but don't have a car, STA is offering free door-to-door transportation to those centers. Anyone who needs the free service is encouraged to call the number on your screen right now. You do need to give a 2-hour notice, though, before you schedule your trip. And in case you missed it, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Chris Rakedahl is now asking Governor Jay Inslee to mandate COVID-19 vaccinations for public school employees. Inslee recently passed a vaccination requirement for state and healthcare employees, but K-12 employees were not included under that proclamation. Rakedahl cited the increase in COVID-19 cases, saying he's worried students could miss out on more in-person learning this year.
For those folks who are frustrated by mask requirements or vaccine requirements, they need to understand the consequences of a variant like Delta impacting us as it is clearly doing in parts of the country with devastating impacts. We will have to shut down schools.
The office says it is looking at ways to increase vaccination rates, and of course we'll keep you updated on how that could develop throughout the rest of the next few weeks. Now, when you get the COVID-19 vaccine, a lot of questions happen about what happens if you potentially lose it. Our Morgan Trow researched what you can do to get another copy.
When you get the COVID-19 vaccine, you get a card to prove it. But these small pieces of paper are easy to misplace if you don't put them directly into a card case. So what do you do when you can't prove your status? Well, Washington and Idaho have different protocols to remedy this situation. In Washington, it's pretty easy. You can get official proof without having to talk to anyone. The Department of Health offers a free online site to get your medical records. Log on to MyIR Mobile. You'll need to register with your personal information, but after that, you can access your family's immunization records and print them from the site. You can download the files, take screenshots, it's all valid. If you don't have access to the internet, you can call the records department. Idaho is a bit more tricky. There's no statewide online database from the Department of Health and Welfare that can immediately give immunization records. Here's what you should do. Contact the health provider that gave you the vaccine. Once you confirm your identity with them, you have a few options. They can offer you a replacement card, but you will have to return to the location of vaccination to pick it up. Or they can email you a secure PDF of your medical records to download. For this, it's easier to go straight to the source by calling the healthcare provider's medical records number. And another option is filling out the IRIS records request form. Here, you will fill out exactly what you need and either email, fax, or mail to the DHW. If none of these options work, you can try calling the health district's hotline number. So when you get your vaccine card, make sure to take pictures of the front and back, just in case you misplace it. And for extra safety, email it to yourself or favorite it in your phone's gallery so you can always go back to it. To get all this information and to see an example of Idaho's immunization records request form filled out, text the word CARD to 509-448-2000. In Spokane, Morgan Trow, Crime 2 News.
Well, it's always a good day to drink some good coffee and do something good for your community. So we caught up with our Creme crew this past week, volunteering for the Creme Cares Tools to Schools campaign. They were at area Starbucks, putting on stickers on cups and bags, and here's why. The stickers are QR codes, which allow people to easily scan with their phone to make a donation. All area Starbucks are featuring the codes at their locations next week. That money is going to the Creme Cares Tools to Schools campaign. And the money will be used to buy backpacks and supplies for area school kids. Many of those kids, by the way, going back for in-person schooling for the first time since before the pandemic. But the scan campaign will be going on all next week, as we mentioned, at area Starbucks, and so you can grab your morning coffee and give a quick donation for kids at the same time. Now, there are other ways you can donate to the supply drive as well. This month, you can make a donation online at creme.com. You can also visit any area Office Depot. They've got prepackaged bags of supplies. You can purchase them for donation. There are different prices for those bags, including one from $1 all the way up to $20. And to find out more, just text the word TOOLS to 509-448-2000. We'll get you the latest information to your phone. Creme Cares Tools to Schools happening right now to give our kids the best first day ever. Taking a look at national news tonight. A Nebraska teenager has died this week during his first workout with his high school football team in extreme heat. And 2 Atlanta area coaches are also facing murder charges after one of their student basketball players died of heat stroke back in 2019. These cases are now refocusing attention on the dangers young athletes are facing while exerting themselves in scorching hot temperatures. Anthony Pura has more from Los Angeles.
16-year-old Drake Giger was excited about being a member of the Omaha South high school football team.
He didn't care if he was playing or on the sidelines. He just wanted to be a part of the team and around all the guys.
On Tuesday, the high school junior collapsed in 91-degree heat after the team's first water break.
The doctor came in and said his body was so overheated and his organs were working extra hard, and that he was very, very sick.
Drake died that evening. Near Atlanta, Georgia, 2 high school coaches are facing murder charges after one of their players died during conditioning drills on a blistering hot day in 2019.
Gut-wrenching, heartbreaking. How could this happen?
Eric Bell's 16-year-old daughter, Imani, died of hyperthermia or heat stroke after collapsing at an outdoor basketball practice. Doctors urge students, parents, and coaches to make sure athletes are hydrated well before stepping onto the field and to recognize the warning signs of heat-related illness.
Headaches, nausea, vomiting, cramping, dizziness, just generally feeling unwell. During that time, you're sweating a lot.
Dr. Marie Schaefer of the Cleveland Clinic says when first starting to work out in heat, it's important to take a measured approach.
They start working out and, they forget that they haven't been as conditioned as they had been previously. We sometimes challenge our student athletes to work a little too hard.
And when an athlete starts acting confused or disoriented, that's a red flag.
Be proactive, pull that child from the game.
Imani's father has this message for coaches.
Every child that you coach, treat them like your own.
Doctors say each school should have an emergency action plan ready to keep their athletes safe from the heat.
And media reports say at least 4 high school football players around the country have died in less than a month during a practice or a conditioning session.
Fell short of 100 degrees today, but still very hot. 97 for the high today. We do have some cooler air on the horizon. We'll talk about that in the extended forecast coming up.